Okay, let's see if we can transfer.
You telling me to be quiet? This is I just can't take it no more. I can't take it.
When viewers tune in to watch an episode on My 600 Pound Life, they hope to look into the life of someone who weighs more than 600 pounds, was looking to shed some weight, and start a new life. Now, a lot of people have managed to get the help of Dr. Now and get better, but things don't always go simply like that. You have to understand that the stars usually come from different walks of life and experience, which explains some more bizarre behaviors which they may have. So, there's bound to be some drama and things that can easily get out of control. While some patients handle it properly, others just find it hard to go along with the program. There are usually different cases, whether it's picking fights with Dr. Now, sneaking food and lying about it, or just refusing to change at the expense of their entire family. For some of these people, they've gone on to live their lives, while others, well, they haven't been so lucky. Hello and welcome back to Splash. Today, we are going to be talking about 5 of the most out-of-control people on My 600 Pound Life. But before we get on to that, go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps us out a lot. Also, make sure that you keep watching until you get to number 1 to find out the worst things that these patients have done during their time on the show. You'll be absolutely shocked once you find out. So, without further ado, let's get on to the video. Number 5. James King. Some patients on My 600 Pound Life are so far gone that they are almost completely immobile, unable to care for themselves, and are confined to their bed because of their weight. That was the case for James King, who weighed in at 791 pounds at the beginning of this episode, and he used food to cope with his childhood trauma. But it's hard to have too much sympathy for King, as throughout the episode it's shown that he's behaved selfishly. For one, he had his daughter drop out of school so that she could take care of him. And his father, despite the fact that he suffered a stroke, took out a second mortgage to finance his son's journey to Houston. But King refused to change. He was continually enabled by his girlfriend Lisa, who couldn't stop bringing him food.
Your weight is controlled by the food you take.
Well, she ain't giving me no food.
I couldn't
and
tell
the
you
only thing I'm
what-
eating is what she's bringing me.
Doctor, now I think it has a lot. He does exercises with his arms.
It was so bad that Dr. Now called Adult Protective Services on her when he found out that she had brought food to him in the hospital. In a follow-up episode, even though King had multiple organs failing him.
Why are you arguing? Do you need help or not?
If it consists of her getting out of the picture, no.
Okay, then you don't need any help.
King had a GoFundMe page set up, but that's no longer active. Number 4. Mercedes. Of all the stars on My 600 Pound Life, Mercedes' story is among the most heartbreaking. When she was only 11 years old, her father began sexually abusing her, which caused her to have feelings of shame, guilt, and sadness. By the time she was 15 years old, she was up to 300 pounds and using food to help her deal with the trauma of her assaults. Obviously, this had a huge impact on her life. But when confronted about her eating habits by Dr. Now, Mercedes insisted that she wasn't overeating. She said she just wasn't eating the right foods, even at 773 pounds. And when she finally did move to Houston months later, she had only dropped just under 50 pounds. Subsequently, she gained weight, showing she clearly was not following Dr. Now's program.
Give me a straight, honest answer about what do you eat in a regular day?
I don't eat breakfast. Maybe around, when they get home, it's probably about 3, so that's probably the time when I eat.
And by the end of her episode, after she had only lost around 80 pounds altogether,
I know it's hard for her because she want to do for us and us not do it for her.
Dr. Now is adamant that she be admitted into the hospital, giving her 3 days to decide. Number 3. Shenny Murray. When viewers first met Shenny Murray on My 600 Pound Life, she was deeply sad about suffering through 2 miscarriages, which is totally understandable. That experience can be extremely traumatic to not just the person who endures it, but her partner as well, according to the American Psychological Association. Given that she was sexually abused by a cousin when she was very young, it's no wonder that she turned to food for comfort. But there was hope, as Murray went to Dr. Now to help her get both her life and her weight back under control. But alas, she was unwilling and unable to stop compulsively overeating. Despite her claims of gaining water weight, something Dr. Now pointed out was clearly not the case, Murray was never approved for weight loss surgery. She continued to eat foods that were not on Dr. Now's program.
30 pounds by now. Are you eating this junk and
No.
you keep lying to me?
She didn't eat.
I'm not eating any of that.
Then how come you're not losing weight?
I haven't ate anything.
Including a famously illicit pizza, and never dealt with her underlying emotional issues.
And you eating pizza, but burgers, and then you're smart enough not to throw it your own trash, throw it in somebody else's trash.
Despite leaving Dr. Now's care, Murray set up a GoFundMe for her weight loss surgery. She later filmed herself doing an eating challenge from her hospital bed. Yikes. Number 2, Lisa Fleming. This story is quite disturbing for anyone who hears it. Lisa Fleming started gaining weight when she was a child, thanks in part to a very punishing mother. But it was after she witnessed her brother's murder that her eating truly spiraled out of control. With no end in sight, by the time she signed up for My 600-Pound Life, she weighed over 700 pounds and was unable to take care of herself as she was confined to her bed. As tragic as her backstory is, that's not what made Fleming so controversial. No, it was rather the discovery that she had maggots living in the folds of her skin that made her notorious. Something that should have been a wake-up call. Instead, after losing weight under medical supervision, Fleming returned home and went back to her old habits.
I told you how to eat and what to do, and you got the instruction, she got the instruction, and coming here and yelling that she doesn't know what to do, really?
Eventually, Dr. Now dismissed her from his program as she refused to comply with his orders.
Okay, let's see if we can transfer
You
it.
telling me to be quiet? This is, I just can't take it no more. I can't take it.
Tragically, Fleming passed away at the age of 50 on August 23, 2018, according to page 6. She is remembered lovingly by her family. Number 1. Stephen Asante. Anyone who's seen the My 600-Pound Life double episode and follow-up episodes featuring Stephen Asante and his brother Justin can attest that he's quite possibly the most controversial star the show has ever seen. Namely, Asante came off as manipulative because of the way that he treated both his family and the medical staff that was trying to help him. For one, Asante constantly manipulated his father into getting whatever he wanted, such as unhealthy foods, and bullied his brother repeatedly. He even went so far as to steal Justin's painkillers after he had weight loss surgery to fuel his own addiction.
I just needed a refill on my pain medicine.
You're not going to get any refill on pain medication. Take him back.
Additionally, he threw a jar of urine on the floor of the hospital, leaving it for a nurse to clean up. Asante even caused Dr. Now to lose it as he threatened to drop him off at a homeless shelter if he did not stop his manipulative and erratic behavior.
Steven is just out of control, and he's just about out of options.
Asante seems to have calmed down since then, though, likely due to the fact that he got married, according to Starcasm. But it's hard to forget just how horrible he once was. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed it. While you are here, go ahead and click the links above to check out some more of our other awesome videos.